Lesson 2 is over square roots and cube roots. We do use a lot of square roots and cube roots in algebra, but we use them a lot more when we get to the other part of the geometry of the 8th grade curriculum. So the most important thing about cube roots and square roots is understanding what does that mean. So anytime you have a number being squared or a number being cubed, you have two different things. You have your base, which is the number that you're multiplying every single time, and then your exponent, which tells you how many times you're multiplying that specific number. So for example, if I had 5 squared, my base is going to be 5, and my exponent is going to be 2. So what that means is I'm doing 5 times 5, because my 5 is the base, and that tells me the number that's being multiplied, and then the square, or the 2, is telling me how many times I'm actually multiplying that. Okay, another example might be 3 to the 4th power. Okay, so although we only do squares and cubes, it's still good to know what this means. So what I'm going to do is my base is going to be 3. My exponent is going to be 4. So I'm really doing 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Make sure that you really understand what the base number is and what the exponent number is. A lot of times kiddos get them swapped and confused, and they might think it's, 3 times 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 times 4 times 4, instead of 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So really just take your time when you're going through this part. So on this page, I just gave you some examples: 5 squared, 3 squared, 4 to the 3rd, and 6 to the 3rd. Go ahead and pause the video. Think about what would this look like in our expanded form. In other words, written out. What's it going to look like? After you've done that, unpause the video, and I'll have the answers for you to check your work. Okay, you should have these answers written down or in your head, however you did it. Double check to make sure that all of them are correct. If any are incorrect, look and see what you may have done wrong, so you can remember that for next time. So when you're doing square roots and cube roots, you're basically just doing the reverse process of squaring or cubing. So the first two I have are square roots, and that's the symbol for the square root. The bottom two are going to be your cubed roots, because there's a 3 on the outside of the root symbol, so that's how you know they're going to be cubed roots. So for the square roots, you have to think, okay, well, what number times itself, because it's squared, so I'm only having 2 of them, is going to get me 36. And we know that answer is going to be 6, because 6 times 6 is 36. Same thing for the square root of 49. So what number multiplied by itself, again, because we're only squaring, because there's only 2, is going to be 7. Okay, the cubed roots are a little trickier, because you have to think what number times itself 3 times is going to get me 8. And honestly, that's just kind of memorizing them. This one is going to be 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 gives me 8. And then the cubed root of 27 is going to give me 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Honestly, you should have 1 squared through 12 squared memorized, and then 1 cubed through 5 cubed memorized. Those are the most common ones that you are going to be seeing.